to you Taurus out there. So let's get into it. So for you Taurus, you have the High Priestess, Page of Pentacles, and you have the Seven of Swords. So the High Priestess is a combination of Taurus and Virgo, right? So, there's a link in the comment section below called a Linktree link. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website which has all the ways to financially support the channel, so I can most definitely keep the channel going. Everything from tarot card readings, birth chart readings. I teach you how to do the tarot yourself, all of that. So the High Priestess, the Page of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords are ultimately how it is that a lot of you Taurus are very much so staying out of the nonsense. The High Priestess speaks about a lot of you don't mind staying quiet, staying out of the way. Taurus is the zodiac sign of quiet or silence anyway. So a lot of you don't mind doing something that's natural to you anyway. A lot of you have the mentality that you are going to stay out of the way, do your own thing, not worry about what other people have got going on, focus on you, staying in your lane. And because a lot of you Taurus have made that conscious decision to stay in your lane, a lot of you are very much so successful, because of it. If, real talk, the Page of Pentacles, right? And happy, joy, not even happy, deeper than that, joyful, because truth be told, let me go ahead and show you the cards, but this is the same thing that I've been talking about the whole time, right? A lot of people in this country, right, in the United States, right, in the United States specifically, and I'm not bashing the United States. I'm talking about the mindset, right? I'm not bashing the United States or going off or getting political and all of that. I'm talking about the mentality that a lot of people don't know the difference between America and the United States. A lot of people are so caught up with competitiveness, right? Competition, that they end up worrying about what other people have got going on instead of paying attention to what they have got going on. And that's one of the things that breeds unhappiness, for one, because comparison is the ender of joy, like I was just talking about. You constantly sitting there comparing yourself to another person. You've got to be crazy. You've got to be absolutely out of your mind, because you can never be them and be in their position as far as their specific unique position to them. You could never actually be them. So trying to be them is ludicrous. It's absolutely insane. And the thing about it is that that's what, like I said, that's what breeds sabotage. You'll have people who, everybody is in competition. I ain't gonna say everybody, but so many people are in competition. So many people are in the game. So many people are playing the game. And it's like, why are they playing a game? Why do they consider life a game? It's like, you get this body. Once you leave this body, you can never actually re-get this body. This is not a video game, because in the video games, if you leave the body, if you know what I mean, you can literally restart the game or reset it, and you can get the same body. So it's like factually, it's not a game, and those people need to really start thinking of their lives a little bit more seriously and start gaining a little bit more self-respect. And, they need to take a page out of your book, because the Seven of Swords represents how it is that you, Taurus, know all of that. And you're just not going to get into the nonsense of it all, the dysfunction, right? The overall dysfunction in the sense of the overall dysfunction in the sense of like you going back and forth with another person, you having beef with somebody else, you know, people, you allowing others to come in and compare, because it's so weird. They will be in a relationship with you, but then compare themselves with you. And it's like, yo, y'all are laying down together, but then they're still comparing themselves to you, which is odd, but okay. So so a lot of you Taurus are willing to allow other people to be on some self-sabotage type stuff, but let them fall by the wayside due to their own decisions. The Ten of Cups and the Four of Swords right here are about how you Taurus are very much so aware of your surroundings. You are aware of when a person is not really for you and they're about to start playing games. So a lot of you Taurus are like, you're very aware, and that you're very much so aware of when it's time to actually let somebody go. You know, if you start to see certain things about them, certain traits about them that you have to learn to let go of because they're jealous, because they're envious, it's time to let go. You know, it's time to let go. So the Sun card and the Six of Swords now is about how, since that's the case, a lot of you Taurus are very much so, a lot of you Taurus are very much so aware of what it is that you want. You know, that's the first thing, that's the first piece of the foundation that you are going to build your house on, right? Your relationship on. You must have a foundation. You have to know what it is that you like versus what it is that you don't like. And unfortunately, we weren't taught this as children. We didn't have the room to actually play around to know what it is that we like. We know that we have hobbies, but we don't necessarily have an understanding of what kind of a partner, what kind of a relationship partner we like. What are some of their characteristics that we would like to see out of a person? You understand what I'm saying? Organically, not asking another person to change for us, but organically, so that when we see those type of traits that the person naturally does, meaning that we don't have to coach them into it, then it means that we actually are compatible with these people. And we weren't really taught that, especially not as little ones. So the thing is that you need to have a basis or a foundation of what it is that you actually like. And the best way to do that is, like it is I said before, is to remain open-minded. Well, I should say, I ain't gonna say the best way, right? But I'll say the way that I did it to be more fair. Because I'm not gonna sit up here and talk about one way is the best way. I'm not gonna do that. The way that I did it was I actually gave as many people a chance as possible. That's how it is, and I'm able to know it's cap. A lot of it is lies. A lot of it is games, because I dated shorter, taller, bigger, light-skinned, dark-skinned, blonde hair, green eyes, really curly hair, dark hair. So you know what I'm saying? Spanish, or I should say Hispanic, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Chinese, you know what I'm saying? Try to date Japanese for a while, Indian, you know, some with piercing, some with so it's like I know what it is that I'm talking about. And I know some of the things that I didn't like. And it's the same thing that has to come from you, Taurus, right? What do you know that you like? Maybe you Taurus may like someone who's a little bit more of a conversationalist. Just a little bit, maybe not too much, to where they're just blabbing your ear off. But maybe they know how to have a conversation. They know, you know, how to start a conversation. Obviously, they're not perfect, but they're not so much of, like I said, they're not so much of a conversationalist. They'll just blab your ear off. But at the same time, what else do you like? And the Six of Swords now represents, and now it is that you know what you like. You, Taurus, can actually start to be able to build on that and go after that. Because the thing about it is, when you, Taurus, know what it is that you like, that's the catch-22, I should say. The next step to actually getting towards what it is that you want is to actually do the approaching. The problem that most grown-ups don't do, and which is ironic, because you would think that they are adults, they would have the heart to do this. Children have the heart to do this, right? Like children have the heart to go up to other children and play. That's approaching in on itself. So grown-ups don't have the heart to do that, where they go up to another grown-up, obviously, right? That goes without saying. And then they do the approaching and they get to know that person and stuff like this. So many adults, right? And I'm not insulting anyone. I'm just saying the concept of adulting, you know, and how it is that people lose or certain things go dormant in them, or they develop certain fears or anxieties when they're older that they didn't have when they're children, you know. But the next step, Taurus, is for them to actually start doing the approaching. Because the Hermit now, the Queen of Wands and the Two of Wands, is all about how it is that you, Taurus, you do want to learn. You do want to approach. A lot of you, Taurus, you are approaching now. On both sides. But it's just a matter of, are those people willing to come off the nonsense is the question. Because the Queen of Wands and the Two of Wands represents, here they go, once again. Are they going to be honest with you? Be honest with themselves? Because a lot of times, and I've said this before, right? You can tell someone is in the game if they're not giving you a fair chance. Because what it is that their stupid self is doing is they're trying to dub you so that they can show everybody else that they have value, or make the impression on you that they have value, which is completely stupid in the long run, because those are the only type of tactics that a person should do if they want a dysfunctional relationship, and if it's for something short term, which goes to show you that most people are not really built for relationships the way that they're making it seem like they are. Most people are actually capping about that, because factually, you cannot build a successful relationship running game. You can't. You're not going to be able to. So trying to turn someone down, this is the reason why it is that you shouldn't care about approaching, because most people are capped. The fanciness or the fancifulness that they want you to think about is capped. All of the trying to belittle you is capped. They don't want you to know that they've never been in a relationship, right? And they're basically just a toss on both sides. They're basically just a toss around. People only use them like a piece of meat. They're not really relationship material, and they know that. So what is it that they got to do? They got to raise their value. They got to make it seem like that's not what they are, and they have all this value and they're exclusive. And it's like, meanwhile, but they've been on a carousel their whole life being passed around. Because you have to understand, though, Taurus, right? To give y'all more game, you got to understand that. You have to understand, right? And this is what the Hermit represents too, gaining hidden knowledge about yourself and about other people. You have to understand, Taurus, that, you know what I mean, that when it comes to stuff like approaching and dating and stuff like this, most people are fake. This is what it is I'm saying to you. Most people are fake. You're looking for the person that is actually a real one. But truth be told, most people are fake anyway. So now, right, you always got some idiots showing up. You know, you always got some idiots showing up talking about, man, get to the cards and whatnot. Meanwhile, I'm giving them game on how it is that they can actually fix the situation if they really wanted to. It just goes to show you that they're dumb as all get out. But anyway, some smart, some individuals that think that they smart. But anyway, because that's why it is that they call it a game. Most people don't really have relationship experience, and it shows. All you need to do is listen to them, because if they did have relationship experience, true relationship experience, they would know that a lot of the stuff that they hear on the internet is really like shock value, trying to shock someone into clicking on the video so that the video can get a clicks. They're trying to go viral. They think that there's some way to monetize, because people in this society prioritize attention, aka vanity, or I should say extreme amounts of attention, which is vanity, over everything else. I mean, people will intentionally go with somebody that they know for a fact that is showing them real problems at the very beginning of a potential relationship, and go with them, and then and make excuses for it, and then when it inevitably doesn't really work out, then they want to go ahead and get on the internet and cry, because they're doing that even for the attention. So it's like they're willing to, quote unquote, get their heart broken, because more oftentimes they're not. They're probably not even really heartbroken, but they're willing to come to the internet and make a complete buffoon, make a complete idiot out of themselves in that way, just so that they can get the attention. But when someone is teaching them how to do certain things the correct way, now they feel embarrassed, or they're so upset, but they're not embarrassed running to the internet and crying their eyes out because they don't want to do right. Let's clarify the High Priestess. That's the stupidity in the whole thing. And you got masses of people who are lying, talking about they want a relationship. No, because if they really wanted one, Taurus, they wouldn't be so goofy. They wouldn't be so stupid, They wouldn't be so chupid, They would not be so caught up with vanity and dumb things. They would actually be in a relationship, and they would be a little bit more serious about it, instead of doing counterintuitive things and then getting on like they're surprised about it. It's like, why do you think that insulting your partner for no reason whatsoever, right? Well, there is a reason, but it's unjustifiable why you're insulting this person. Why do you think that if this person has any kind of self-respect, they would want to keep someone around who acted like this? But then the willingness to be stupid. It's like the person knows this, but they don't want to own up to the fact that, yeah, it's the truth. They were being an idiot. So now it's like they have to, it's like, okay, Page of Swords, Five of Swords, Seven of Swords. Let me get out of here. Four of Pentacles and the High Priestess. There you go. So your energy is really prevalent here. It's really showing up. It's really shining through. The Page of Swords and the Five of Swords, yeah, you're staying away from the knuckleheads like we was discussing. Everybody's going to do what it is that they want to. And, people are making these videos, but they're not paying attention to them. A lot of these idiots are going to continue to be idiots. Until people stop rocking with them, they're going to continue to be idiots. And even then, they're still going to continue to be idiots. So the Seven of Swords and the Four of Pentacles represents, there's nothing that, I ain't going to say there's nothing, but there are some things that you can do. And one of the most powerful things that you, Taurus, can do is to pay attention to what it is that you've got going on and stay in your own lane.